Hi guys, welcome to Who Gave Jeff Allen a Podcast with me, Carollynn and Xavier. I know, we're at episode 28 and I'm still not fired. It's amazing. This is the longest job I've ever had. And this episode was really, really great. And Jeff is going to tell you all about it.
A good friend of mine, a really good friend of mine. We toured together a number of years ago. Some of you older folks may remember the Apostles of Comedy. But Brad Stine is, if anything, not boring. And we are going to break this into two different podcasts, because in the 2.5 hours we sat here and chatted, at about the hour and 15 mark, it just got really serious about some serious topics. So the previous hour and 15, if you like fluff, it was fluff. We were cutting up. We were just a couple of old friends. We left Carollynn in the dust because we were both ADHD. But Brad is a dear friend of mine, and you're going to love it or hate it, one or the other. And that's what we like, don't we? We like to stir something in you.
Yeah, episode 1, amazing, super funny. Episode 2, you're either going to love Jesus and Brad or you're in the streets somewhere. There's no in between. But anyways, we're so happy you're here. We love you guys. Like, subscribe, all the things. Cue the music.
You want to start, or me, or?
I'll start because you guys have a more exciting story. So we met when you were recording your special.
That's quite a leap of faith. We have an exciting story.
Yeah.
We're old guys. Yeah. I don't remember my stories.
What? What? I was so funny. I was watching two old people talk, and
you and
they
Tammy?
obviously it was in a restaurant, and it was hysterical. I mean, I love people watching.
Yeah.
So I got nothing else to do. I'm not stalking. I'm just watching.
Yeah.
And it was two old people that I couldn't hear, and they were just literally talking. Both of them at the same time. It was so funny to me. It was and they're not. I'm literally. They couldn't hear each other. They were just talking. I said, that's my dream when I get to there in my marriage. I said that we're both deaf and we can just talk.
But by that point, you've made it that long. You didn't figure you'd get there. You don't really know what old means.
Right.
You just I did a joke about this years ago. I said, but old people, young people look at old people like they started that way. Like you've always been this old guy. They don't realize, no, we used to be you, and then we got here, and we're doing the same thing. How did this happen? Yeah. How did I get stuck in this shell? That's not what I wanted. And I've heard this from I was smart enough and wise enough, for whatever reason, to always respect the elderly. My grandparents, which I had till my 30s, all four said, I would always go talk to them. Tell me about life. How does it work? I just knew I need to go to the guys that went first. And tell me the stories. How did you stay married 50 years? How do you do this thing? Yeah. And everybody says, you just, one day when you look at yourself and go, am I the old guy now? Because you're 18 here forever. Right. I'm just the young guy, and your body says, don't even try. Don't even try to throw that ball. Don't even try to climb that thing. Right. But my mind says, I want to go. I want to keep being that guy. And suddenly your body has to say, well, this is what's we're breaking down whether you like it or not. So
absolutely, yeah. Tammy says to me sometimes, I'll go out and walk 18 holes in 90-degree heat, and then crawl to the car, crawl out of the car, crawl up the stairs, lay in the living room. She goes, "You did it again, didn't you? You think you're one of them? Those kids,
one of them." With.
Yeah. So anyway, Brad Stine. I don't even think we did an intro. You are I'm a fan of yours.
Aww.
This goes back to when we worked together. First time I saw you, I don't even know if you remember, was the Improv in Tempe, Arizona. We worked together.
I totally remember that.
It was a Christian comedy night at the club.
Remember
Anders? I think it was Anderson.
Yes.
Became a believer.
So had we not met before that?
We had not met.
So this was just a gathering of Christian comedy.
Comics that Anderson put together. You were, I think,
didn't I go back there with you though once?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
If I did, it wasn't very memorable.
Yeah. Okay. But I do remember that.
But I remember coming home and telling Tammy, I said, I think I just worked with a Christian version of George Carlin. I thought you were so clever, and I don't mean by any sense of imagination. You sounded like him, but it was just your phrasing and the detail you played to the language. Language seemed so, and it was really kind of cool to watch. So when we were putting the apostles together, you were the first one when I mentioned to Lenny. He said, "Who do you want on?" I said, "Brad Stine." I don't know if you look back at the apostles fondly, but it was as close as I ever got to camp.
No, it was wonderful. It was so fun to feel like that you were wanted, that you'd found your people, that they wanted what you had and it mattered and it was valuable and it was good and it was sophisticated. And that's all I ever wanted to do, Jeff, as a Christian comic. First off, I didn't want to be a Christian comic. I just want to be a comic who happened to be a Christian. And I'd said that for a long time. When I first started working I'm sorry, are you here too? Nice to meet you.
Carollynn,
This is Carol. It's nice to meet you.
This woman walked in going, I will be your butler.
I am the secretary
Yes,
or
in
the
fact,
waitress.
but I didn't mean to turn my back
He
to
let
you.
me put shoes on today.
Oh, that's the first.
She's the only reason this winds up on the internet.
Okay, well,
if they're
God.
watching it, it's because of
We
her.
always need the young people.
If it was you and me,
Yeah,
this thing would be in the abyss
Yeah,
somewhere
exactly.
in
We're
the
saying,
internet
is this going
abyss.
on Betamax?
What is? I'm so embarrassed. What's Betamax?
Let's put it on VHS
Yeah,
and send it
that
out to our
explains.
people.
It's like the tape. Back in the day, when he and I first started recording, it was tape. It's
Okay,
on big
yeah.
old cartridges.
I remember
and that
VHS.
that was amazing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
When the first time I saw a tape with music, it was a cartridge this big, and one of the songs would start fading out halfway through, and you had to pull it out and turn it over to get back to the song because they ran out of. Do you remember those?
No, I don't.
Those
Gosh.
big cartridges
Like
before
8-track?
cassettes.
No, I remember the 8-tracks, but
Well, I think that's what it was. But if you'd had an album on it, it was in the big.
right. And
And then
in the
if-
car, you had to stick a matchbook because
Yeah.
if it sailed, it would roll, and you had to lift it up and put the matchbook in,
I know.
hold it up.
So we're going, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
She's going, you were the Flintstones?
Right.
But
She always tells me, "Tell me again, Papa,
Yeah.
about the good old
Tell me
days."
again,
yeah,
Papa.
before fire was discovered.
What's a matchbook, Papa? How did you light a vape with a matchbook, Papa?
I could have swore we were talking about something.
We were.
You were comedy.
And then
You
once
didn't
I
want to
just-
start as a Christian
Oh,
comedian.
okay. So here's what happened.
Thank God we got the young mind here.
For real. So when I started working in churches, it was totally pragmatic. I was just a comic trying to be funny,
Yeah, me too.
and it's really hard. Now, I'm going to say this. I have never met a performance artist, actor, and I've worked with some great ones, musician, I've worked with great, and I know we've all been around the world of entertainment, performance arts. We meet people of different genres. To a man or a woman, the thing that they all fear and are in awe of is stand-up comedy. They go, I don't know how you do that. Meanwhile, they're up there going, wah, wah, wah,
Yeah, exactly.
and I'm going, no. And he goes, there's something about our art form that is so intimidating and frightening to people. They don't.
I love the fact you used the word art form. I just in the last year started using to describe what we do as art. I used to just say, I just talk. I mean, there's nothing to it. I mean, but
It's performance art.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's funny because I had a guy come up to me the last weekend when I was working, and he started talking to me about, do you do mentorship? I have a friend that really wants to do this. He's afraid, blah, blah, blah. And I said, this art form is the only art form you have to do in front of a live audience. I said, you can create a Grammy-winning
That's
album
right.
in a studio.
That's right.
But you cannot create Grammy-winning comedy without the feedback
I have said,
and bombing and eating it and chewing it.
I've said the same thing for years. I phrase it a little differently. I said it's the only art form I know that you have to rehearse in front of the audience.
All right.
That's a different, because to me, it's just, you're right. A garage band, you can get in there, and you can listen, go, we hit all the notes, we hit all the melodies, we were in tune, the harmonies were right. Doesn't mean they'll like the music.
And your music isn't contingent on the response
No.
from them. They could be chatting the whole
That's
time.
exactly
You're-
right.
You're
Well,
delivering
yeah,
your
that's the thing. Exactly right. If I'm at an event and I'm playing music and nobody's paying attention, it sucks because you want them to, but you become background music. I don't need to listen to you to finish and get my check. But if I'm sitting there as a comic and they're all doing this,
Right.
And we've all been there.
Well, it's equivalent to going to a play where people are running around talking. And
Yeah, it's
milling
impossible.
around. Yeah.
And people don't understand the aesthetic need to make comedy work because they either see you on video where you're in a perfect scenario with perfect lighting, perfect thing, perfect crowd, perfectly edited, perfectly post, or they saw you in a club where there was a full crowd and it was all tight and the room was, short ceiling and everything was right, and they go, "You are amazing. Will you come to our gig?" And then you get there and it's on the back of a truck on a Kmart mic out in a field while kids are eating popsicles. You go, "It's not the same thing.
I know.
It's not magic."
My favorite one, I sees me at a comedy club, says, "Hey man, I got a little bar in somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. Would you come?" And I go, "Sure, man." And I get out there, and it's like you said. I mean, it was a bar. And there's kids running around, and it's just noise, all this stuff. And I almost got beat up because I saw the kids. I go, "What is this, redneck daycare?
Yeah.
What are they doing here?" I mean, that was it. I heard a guy say to his friend, "I don't know if I should laugh or just punch this boy out." And I said, "I'm going to save you the trouble of putting that thought together." I said, "I'm leaving." And the guy's paying me. He goes, "Boy, you were a lot funnier last night at that comedy club." And I go, "Well, yeah."
Was this recent?
No. God,
okay,
no.
years ago. Okay. Yeah. Well, so I did, God, we're going to be all over the map here, so good luck with your editing.
There will be no editing.
Well, because the stories all fit and stir another idea. But I started on Comedy Zones. I started in Coconuts. I'm guessing you did those.
Yes. Well, not Coconuts.
Okay, but
I wouldn't stoop that low.
No. I did.
God, no.
Please. Stoop.
If you're a coconut manager watching this, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You never called.
Yeah. Bob
Coconut.
No, it wasn't Bob Coconut. He's still around. I think he has one coconut still going.
Wow.
I just
There were a
blanked
bunch
on
of
his
them.
name. There were. And thank God for him. Because they helped me get my feet wet.
That's like
figure this
Sobel's
out.
Caravan.
Yeah. Well, that was Comedy Zone, right? It was in.
No, well,
or
that
did-
Greenberg was.
That's right,
Comedy
Greenberg. But you want to talk about, because you're a comic, right? Or did
I
comedy?
was,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean.
She is. She's one of the funniest people I know.
Oh, good. Well, there you have it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I don't know how to take a compliment.
You wouldn't
that
be
big.
there if I didn't think you were too
But if you've ever seen.
extremely off the cuff.
If you ever seen a movie or some television
I saw a
thing
movie
that
once.
you have, okay. So let's pretend that you saw one that is going to, that might reference a redneck bar and somebody trying to perform or do something, and you're in the
Yes.
corner, and they had to shut down the pool table and turn the
And the taco
game
bar.
off,
They shut the taco
and have
bar
the
down.
people and have a guy sitting at the bar going, "What's going on?" and have a mic that's a 6-foot cord in a corner that with a riser and no lighting and people everywhere and
That's
you're
comedy,
like, okay,
yeah.
well, guess what? That's real. They didn't make that up. That's the world we had to, not these YouTube guys who cheated their way into comedy. We had to do boot camp, baby. It was the real deal. You had to earn your stripes. These guys have no idea. Yeah, I'm going to say it. You don't know what it is to do stand-up comedy because you didn't have to go face the most ridiculous, impossible scenario and try to be funny.
Well, some are, because I remember Dusty Slay and I had the same manager at one point, and I remember telling my manager, Dusty's going to do really well. I found out he drove to Michigan for $50 to get stage time.
But that's the different guy.
Well,
no,
that's it.
he's doing the thing.
Well, that's it. There are
what-
guys that are doing
Yeah,
it.
no,
And,
that's a whole different ball
I
game.
know a bunch of them. I meet them on Monday nights. That's why I started going down to Zany's on Monday nights, is to hang with young comics, because I was sitting in my house in Fairview.
But I went to do a show in Tampa at Side Splitters, which I used to work at when I was just mainstream guy, and I was coming back now as God's comic, as this Christian conservative, so I have a very specific demographic, and it was like
Your
a
demographic is Tampa.
It is.
Probably did great
Well,
in
I
Tampa.
did. I mean, they love me, that's for sure. But it was like I want to say matinee, but it was like a Saturday night, but like 5.
That's when I do, yes.
Yeah, because the headliner's coming at 7.
Right.
Well, the headliner this particular time happened to be like a YouTube guy like one of
Right.
these influencers, whatever.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Sold out.
Right.
Never heard of him.
Right.
And I'm backstage with this guy. He's sitting there like talking like he's almost like you're talking to a green guy. He was the guy that just sold out the place with the thing going, yeah, I do it on YouTube. I'm kind of figuring out. I don't know. And I realized, so you kind of just fell into this
Well,
thing.
talk to Carollynn about it, because Carollynn said that's what she did. She built this Instagram and
That's
then
what
realized,
happened to
but
me,
she
yeah.
was smart enough to realize she didn't have an hour.
But they
So she
show
thought-
up thinking
right.
that 2 minutes is going to translate into an hour.
Right.
You don't know what you're doing.
Right.
And they kind of, I think they kind of give you the grace because they just like being in your presence. It's like, don't you want the goods? Shouldn't they
Right.
be funny though?
Right. My favorite one recently was Des Moines. I went in on Sunday, and the manager came over. She goes, I'm so glad to see you and your people. And I go,
It's a
what do you
club?
mean?" Yeah, it was a club. It was Des Moines Funny Bone.
Oh, yeah.
And she said Saturday night we had a bachelorette from the Bachelorette show, and I said, oh really? She goes, yeah. Within 30 minutes, we made an announcement. We're no longer selling wine by the glass. You have to buy the whole bottle. They went through 17 cases of wine. There was puke all over the place.
Listen.
And I said, did the woman have an act? And she said, oh, hell no. She just stood up there and they shouted at her for an hour.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's good enough.
She just moved on.
That's good. All right, now
Yeah.
I have to, okay, here's the thing. There's a very famous movie called The Godfather. I'm sure
Okay.
you've watched it. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a scene, very famous, when Michael Carollynn has to try to negotiate with the mob boss, not knowing he's about to assassinate him.
Okay.
Okay. Before he goes into the bathroom to get the gun and assassinate him, they're trying to work something out, and the mob boss says to
Hold it, spoiler alert.
the chief of police. Yeah, if you haven't watched it by now, you deserve to be spoiled.
Yeah.
But he looks at him and he goes, I'm going to talk Italian to him right now. Because the chief of police who he's bought off is sitting right. He's Irish, whatever.
Right.
Doesn't speak Italian. I'm going to speak Italian to Michael right now. Because I don't have to explain anything because it's Italian. It's a culture. It's a flavor. It's a thing. Okay. So there might be times during this interview where I'm going to have to speak comedian to Jeff.
Okay. Okay.
Which means I don't have to say anything up. I don't have to apologize. Now, you're a comic, so I'm guessing maybe you're cool with it.
Depends on
But
how much caffeine I've had.
But we go back, and I don't just mean him as a friend, because I was doing comedy long before I knew him as he was with me. But we come from a world that doesn't exist anymore in stand-up comedy. And the things we've seen and the ways that we can and we still came off the tail end of when you could mock people and ridicule and
Hold on, I might get triggered here. So,
Yeah.
do we have our on-staff therapist
Yeah.
ready? Because he might bring up some stuff.
Well,
from
I
the
might.
past.
We'll get there. We'll get
might
there.
make me shudder.
We'll get there eventually. And my hope is to get him shudder and to soil himself. That's what I'm shooting for.
that isn't hard at my age.
Yeah, I noticed you beat me to it, but
I did it on stage 6 months ago. I had to go. I had to go, and I know better. I know I can't hold
Jeff.
it, but I hold it. I stand in there, and all of a sudden I let loose, and there's this. I had blue slacks on, and there's this ring, and I look at the audience, packed theater.
is this your podcast?
Yes, it is.
And you've decided-
we have the hard conversations here,
Holy
Brad Stine.
crap.
We talk about all of it. So anyway, they didn't even know. I said, I got to apologize. I knew I should have left the stage. I was standing there, but I had my closer. You got to do the closer, Brad. You can't leave
That
him without
is-
the
well,
closer.
that's-
Jeff, you
don't-
peed your pants
I
on
did,
stage,
I did.
and you're telling people?
I did. Oh my God! One of my favorite Joe Rogan episodes. They spent 20 minutes talking about how they soiled themselves.
Who?
Rogan and the two other comics.
On stage?
Well, no, not on stage. They just talked about it going to the gigs, but they had to go to the bathroom.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
How many times?
But that's it.
You're
but
somewhere.
Kipadonna, they said lost his Vegas contract because he did that in Vegas.
Cape night.
Three Cape nights.
It was 3 Cape nights.
3 Cape nights. So anyway, we digress. But
Oh,
you
my
were going to
gosh.
talk comic to me. That's
Well, I'm kind of prefacing that so that if we need to go somewhere, you guys will just try. You'll get to watch the dark underbelly of what makes comedy so great.
Yeah,
is that
peeing your pants on stage.
But I do miss those days, though, Jeff, to a certain degree. That
By the way, I've only done it once. Okay.
Yeah.
The real spoiler is he's filming a new dry bar, and that's his new closer, and it's pretty
He's peeing
amazing.
himself?
I peed myself.
Yeah. His
Well-
special is called Wet Bar.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, no, because the thing is, I only say that because I was thinking about this, about how people they're not used to, there's no guardrails in classic comedy. In classic comics, comic to comic, you didn't have to do anything. Matter of fact, how
absolutely.
outrageous you get was part of the fun.
Right.
Is there's no limits, it doesn't matter what you say.
And the audience did determine
Yeah.
if you got the ooh, you went, too
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that joke about my son getting hit in the head with a first pitch ever in Little League.
Yeah.
First pitch, bam. And I said he went down like a Kennedy. You know.
Yes.
See? And that was funny. Then it wasn't. All of a sudden now I get emails from people. One woman wrote, "It's the most cruelest thing I've ever heard." Man, what a charmed life you've lived.
That's the cruelest thing. You know,
Yeah.
and when I leave this monastery, I'm coming after you.
Well, it's funny to talk about ages and throughout, the age of the age of industry, the age of whatever. I think we're
You
living
didn't
in
hear
the
how
age.
she laughed at my little joke there. You missed the whole
I didn't.
subtlety.
I heard it. That's why I wanted to deflect
I
because
see,
I want it all for me.
No, it's project is what it is. It's project.
I just love
But
the
we're
idea-
living in the age of hyperbole.
That's
I mean,
true.
it's just like it's the most.
You can say
the
that
most
again.
outrageous thing I've ever heard.
That was another little zinger I threw.
Yeah, I got it, man.
I know. It's just,
I just love the idea of him doing a set in a monastery. That was so funny.
Well,
When you
it-
leave the
it's-
monastery in there. He went down
I
like
could
a
have
Kennedy.
swore we had an interesting story somewhere.
Somebody going to
and it's
talk
been
comedy
long.
to me.
You were
That
talking
comedy.
about how you didn't start as a Christian comic, but
Thank
you
you.
got labeled as a Christian comic.
Like we
later.
got the stenographer. Let the records
And-
show you were talking about.
And you did mention the YouTuber thing, and I'm gonna disagree with you, but just a smidge.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
I
he
am.
is.
Wait a minute,
it
did I
comes.
sign that?
Women are
She's
allowed,
allowed
to
to
do this
disagree
now.
with
Yeah,
She
it's
is,
crazy.
yeah. We'll edit this out.
it's
so
wild.
nobody will know that anybody
The
on
women
this
are
panel
allowed to disagree as long as
ever
we-
disagreed with a guest
Yeah.
we've had.
Yeah,
We edit this stuff out.
Yeah, I've gotten away with it. You can tell because no black eyes.
I understand. You can disagree with me as a woman, but just keep in mind you'll be wrong. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
So at least that caveat has to be thrown in.
I struggled with this a lot because I blew up on Instagram and then I got the comedy Kingdom keys just handed to me. I couldn't even host at these places, and then my Instagram blows up and they're like, "You want a night?" And I'm like, "You wouldn't even let me host 3 months ago." And I was begging to learn how to do this craft, and you wouldn't give me the option until I could put butts in seats. And so now, instead of being so harsh on the clubs because they're just trying to make money, now I'm thinking we share other venues with other performing arts like theaters. We go into theaters and just allowing the comedy club to be a venue for hire. And I think it's like a labeling thing. Like these YouTube stars that come in, they're so kind to come in, be with their fans, take pictures with their fans, talk to their fans. And even though they're not doing traditional stand-up, they're doing something. So I think we just need like a new genre for that something that's coming into these clubs.
Okay.
Here comes the disagree. I'm ready.
Okay, I can't disagree because you have proof of concept. They saw you, they liked you, and they showed up. Okay? So that's all true.
Yeah.
My problem,
Here it comes. I'm ready.
But
my problem is this idea of fans. Now, I haven't seen your Instagram. So perhaps
It's mediocre at best. Don't waste your
No,
time.
no,
not at all. It's very funny.
Okay, so you were doing like
Funny
like
videos.
rants or something?
Really, very funny videos. She's a recovering Californian.
So you're doing jokes.
Jokes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Jokes.
so that's different.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different because you have content. A lot of these guys. Am I keeping you?
Not at all.
Okay.
I made the mistake of reaching out to Rocket Mortgage to see what the interest rates were.
Okay.
And now I'm inundated with 975 calls
The
a day.
great news
from,
is he might refinance on this episode.
I might. I mean, it's just constant. It just is the biggest mistake. I made a lot of mistakes in my life. That goes up at the top 10.
What?
Is reaching out to Rocket Mortgage.
Okay.
And giving them my cell phone number.
Okay.
So they have sent it out to every mortgage broker in the universe.
About trying to refinance?
Well, trying to, I don't, I just, all I wanted was what are the current interest rates? Because I'm thinking of building an addition to my home. I'm gonna, and Talk about getting off track.
Yeah.
But it's just
All the
constant.
YouTube people are
Normally
going,
it's Ron
are you
Pearson.
kidding me?
Normally it's Ron Pearson that calls in the middle of our
Oh,
interviews.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know, but,
Well, he'll give you some stock tips. I
right,
think.
actually, stock tips. So anyway, that's
Real
what it
quick.
is. And I'm trying. I thought I silenced everything. My rear end is it's actually getting pleasurable. It's been vibrating the
Yeah.
entire time.
Good on you.
Real quick, this podcast is brought to you by Churchill Morgan.
Yes.
Hey, if you want to,
If you want a free finance,
Okay,
we
so-
have
so
spots.
We'll find an actual dialogue here. So what happened was the influencer, I guess, is the problem for me because they don't do anything.
right? Yes.
Okay, and God, there's so many things, but this is unique for me because I rarely get to talk comic to comic, which gives us our own nomenclature, our own. We're a family that is just happens that nobody else can understand because
Hold
we
on, I
get
gotta
it.
look up nomenclature.
Oh, for crying out loud!
I told you, Brad, to not use big words. What did we talk about before this whole thing started?
Okay, so I'm gonna go.
I
to
think
you.
a nomenclature is when like a group of gnomes get together and
Yeah,
start a
and
tribe.
plate.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, nomenclature. It's
haven't seen many gnomes,
your
but
framework of.
if I was a gnome, I'd look for a group of them.
Yeah. Your speech framework in the way that you speak and the idioms and this type of your style and the type of way that you interact verbally is your nomenclature.
Then it was a very appropriate word.
Well, what else would
It was beautiful.
it was? It made me weep internally, but okay. So we're kind of off on
Comic to
another
comic.
subject, but whatever. So I've always just struggled with the influencer because, and this goes all the way to the like a Kardashian kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a skill as a performance artist, and it bothers me because you're cheating.
Yeah.
Now I'm old school. I'm a baby boomer. I grew up when if you wanted to get on television, you had 3 channels, and if they said no, you ain't on.
Right.
They controlled the dissemination of information, and who gets the anointing was on these folks. Okay? There was no social media. There was no cell phone. If I needed to get to a gig, I had to either have somebody draw me or read a map. And if I got lost, I had to pull off the side road hoping to find a payphone and hope I had a coin and hope that they hadn't yanked it off the stinking wall when I got there. I lived in the Stone Age.
Which is why our immune system is stronger than these little
For crying out.
freak, because the diseases that were on those cell phones
Holy
or
crap.
payphones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was before.
And we put them right up to our lips.
And this was before sending.
we were kissing all of that stuff.
And it's before antibacterial stuff, and we never thought of
Right.
and even then we knew this is nasty, but I got no options.
Right, exactly.
Where are you guys? I'm at 3rd and where am I?
My favorite-
3rd and 15.
My favorite line was North 38, South 38. What's the difference? How about 45 minutes? That's the difference.
Right.
know?
That was our world. How old are you?
35.
35. Oh my.
I know, and I'm so old to my son.
Yeah.
And so I come in here and it makes me feel youthful. It's
Yes.
great. I
Well, I'm
love
glad
it.
I could do that for you.
But it makes sense. The payphone, that's why you guys had to do so much coke in the 80s to keep the germs down.
Did you do coke in the 80s?
No.
I didn't do drugs. That's why I don't remember if you were a
it
coke
was
guy.
so
I know you're
ubiquitous,
alcoholic, but
yeah. Oh, I did a
Coke?
ton of cocaine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tried it once when I was I was at 21, I think, is when and I've always been a Christian. I've always been since I was 9. And I've discovered that Christianity seems to take 2 paths. You're a believer very early, and then there comes a moment when it's time to take your prodigal journey,
Right.
end up in pig slop and come home.
Yeah.
Or you go sideways and never return, which indicates to me you probably were never really in, or you've lived a world of disconnect from God, and you reach the bottom and you say help, and you never return, which was your journey. It's a different one. Both of them are powerful, but both of them take you to a moment where you have to leave God. There's a reckoning that you're almost doing to God. I'm going to try somebody else now for a second, and then when you return, and anybody that's serious about their faith, just to warn you, there will be a dark night of the soul where God will say, you have no idea what it's your turn now for what I'm about to put you through to prepare you for what's going to be the rest of your life. That's what my story was. And so for me to try some of the stuff, I just wanted to know. I just want to know. I'll do it once. What's cocaine? Now I know what cocaine is. And I did it once. I was a magician then. I was a professional magician in California. And I was working at a restaurant, and these waiters took me afterwards home, and they said, hey, and they had a little vial of thing. It's like, I got to try this. It look cool. And you get to do this and do all this. It's like, oh, this is fun. And I did it, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And I said, I better never do that, because I knew I'm going to get addicted to this, and I couldn't afford it. He had a little thing for like $100, which in 1980 might as well have been $1,000. Like, I can't. I literally didn't get addicted because I said, I can't afford this.
That's funny, because I had the same response, but I kept chasing it, and it never satisfied.
I couldn't find the money though. I wouldn't even allow myself to get that.
I was wasn't until I got married, and the
But you were robbing grandmothers on the street. See, I didn't.
I didn't rob them. I just conned them.
Okay. Nice.
Whatever they did was a free choice when they handed over their money for that condo. That condo I was selling.
Right. I thought you were an escort, perhaps.
No,
we're just.
I offered them a choice. I just kind of, But what was your dark night of the soul?
Well, so what happened was this. I was I'm a Renaissance man. I'm interested in lots of things, and I feel like I've never been great at anything, but I've been good enough at everything that I could kind of do it.
Right.
So I wanted to be a baseball player first. Well, before that, I wanted to be a stuntman, but before that, I wanted to be a secret agent. So there's lots of.
You didn't want to be a TikTok influencer?
No, because I grew up, when I was a little kid in the '60s, and
the walls are lined in grade schools today.
Yeah, exactly.
TikTok, that'll help society. Let's encourage that at the higher education.
Well, but here's the deal. I think, and I've never been diagnosed, I'm either on the spectrum, or I'm obsessive compulsive, or I'm severe ADHD. But I did it at a time as a baby boomer where there were no drugs for that.
Right.
You were just hyperactive.
I was an obnoxious little punk.
Yeah, you're just out of control. You're hyperactive. You're hyperactive, and it's like, I don't know why I feel the way I feel, or why I can't just sit. I don't know.
Right.
But there's no help, so you better figure it out.
Right.
And so we had to endure that so your age group could get the drugs. Are you happy now? So anyways, she's like, what did I do this time? Plus, I'm a girl. We don't get ADHD.
We do. And we got it.
Do you have that? So anyways, okay, so let me see if I can land this place somewhere so we actually finish a sentence eventually.
Well, I self-medicate, and that's what's so funny to me. They go, when Tammy and I got into the discussion years ago about you need to get diagnosed for this stuff so they can put you on medical, I said, I've been self-medicating. Cocaine, caffeine, porn. I medicate. My mental affliction. And I finally figured out if I put headphones on with classical music, I can sit for almost a half an hour without getting out of the chair, and that's amazing to me.
Well, that's cool that you found a
but you've
positive
written two
way.
books.
Well, yeah, but okay. So
you obviously can sit still. Or did you dictate?
Are you ready for this? Okay. I'm going to have a million stories here, so we better figure out where we
wanted you here.
Well,
because we want your million stories.
Well, it'll be ours. So it's.
We'll make sure to hashtag ADHD. So
but here's
people can follow this.
Here's the thing. And there's a reason why I brought up.
Well, I talked about your dark time of the soul. So you were,
okay. Well, so anyway,
we'll circle back to quote Jen.
So I become I was a professional close-up magician in Southern California in the 80s.
And by the way, he's really, really good.
Well, thank you. And I knew a lot of and you wouldn't know them, because it's a little subculture, the magic, close-up, sleight of hand. Baptists are watching, sleight of hand. It's not demons. And that's in my book about,
I know.
Somebody talked to me about, I did a card trick. Well, that's from the devil. It's like, I didn't know that Satan's greatest trick was not the Holocaust. It's like, that's the ace of spades. I'm going to hell. I can't resist this power.
Well, I love the fact that you said, I've seen pictures of Satan. I don't think,
Yeah.
if I was the king of all things evil, I don't think I'd be in a red suit,
Yeah.
with horns on my head.
You might want to be a little bit more under the radar.
Yeah.
But what happened was I was a close-up magician, and it was all pragmatic. Like I found some of the back to an area that we were talking about. So Jeff, I knew since I was in high school that I wanted to be a performer. I loved acting. My dad was in community theater in Indiana, nothing big. It was small, but my dad was in theater. And he was an auto body repairman. But at night,
he did theater at night.
He
Wow,
did.
That's cool.
He did, and he was in acting in theaters, and he had a little band. He had these ideas. I have a cousin, Jan Stine, who was in films. He was from Indiana. He moved to Hollywood in the late 50s. He ended up in a movie with John Wayne called The Host Soldiers.
Oh.
Yeah, and he was in Donna Reed Show and Rifleman. He was in all these movies. So a little guy from Indiana. So I have that in my
who
blood.
Rifleman was? Chuck
I
Connors.
read the book years ago, but I didn't know there was a show or a movie.
Yeah. I used to watch. Every kid
Did
watched.
she say read the book? Did she say read the book? I don't know if there's a Rifleman book. At that same time, though, I watched Green Hornet, only to say, when I saw Kato, I, like every other boy, said, I have found the coolest thing I have ever seen in my life. I want to be karate. Because that's the first time us white guys ever saw karate. We're like, what is that?
Right.
That's way cooler than boxing.
Yeah.
Anyways, so again, we're all over the map here.
I'm loving it.
So I was a close-up magician, and that's sleight of hand and this and that, and I invented some magic tricks that ended up in literature and in magic, and I know of guys that are world famous. Had a guy on my podcast that I brought in just because I wanted to talk to him, he did a, what do you call it, movie consulting for special effects. His name's Michael Weber. You might know the name.
I didn't know
But
I thought you were going to say Ricky Jay, but
his business was with him and Ricky.
Okay.
It was their business. Anyway, so that's how connected he was. Still is here. Anyways, he's on my podcast. You should watch it. I know you like magic. But I looked at it and I go, okay, I'm a close-up magician. I'm working 5 days a week in California doing table hopping, which is basically I'm in a restaurant, I'm walking up to tables doing close-up magic. And I was a go-getter. I've always been just like an entrepreneur. I'm going to figure this out. And I was doing 5 days a week working things and working in clubs there and working a private club called Magic Island. And it was like $50 a night. I mean, there was no money. Now, that's better than now, $50 a night. It was in the early 80s. But I can't, this ain't gonna work. So I said, well, how can I do this? I know, I'll create a comedy magic show. Because then I can go into comedy clubs. Because I saw that it was just a revenue source. Right. Oh, I know what I could do. Here's another place, because there's only so many magic clubs, but there's tons of this comedy thing. I'll go do that. So I create a comedy magic show. And that ends up, I got a tape to this guy who was Chuck Harris. He was crazy. And he was a manager in Hollywood. And he's like legendary because he was so out there. He found all the crazy acts. Like if you ever saw the guy that would blow up the giant balloon and get inside of it and bounce around and his head would come out of it and everything on this, he did that. The guy that used to have the Michael Jackson dolls attached to him and he would dance. I don't know if you remember that. Okay, well anyways, he was a black guy and he got like PVC pipe and he attached these dummy black dummies and he would dance, but he would move with these pipes attached. So when he danced, they all danced with him. So it was the
Carollynn,
Jackson.
you gotta find the video.
You gotta find it.
It's gotta be a video.
Yeah, I forgot his
We
name.
have to put that in this podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, and he got him doing these halftime shows at NBA games.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he was killing. He was making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow.
And his name was Chuck Harris, and he was notorious.
The original Broadway Danny Rose.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
glasses,
Yeah.
Jewish.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, the real thing. And he got me into this gig where I was doing this, and I was doing comedy magic with
That was in
these.
Southern California.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in Orange County. He was in Hollywood. But so he gets me on a gig with a college tour called We Can Make You Laugh. Now, if you remember the We Can Make You
We Can
Laugh
Make You Laugh, right.
TV show, right, from the 70s. And so what it is 3 comics would, we all did 20 minutes set. And then after that, we did a game show. So the kids, it's all college. The kids would come up, sit down, if you got picked, and you had like a minute to try to make them laugh. If they didn't, the next guy comes up. If you make it through, you make $20 or whatever it was. If you didn't, you get a shirt, you leave. And then there was judges, you laughed. It was a TV show, and we turned it into that. So I'm with these 2 guys. Both have had interesting lives. One guy's name was Craig Anton, who ended up being an actor and got on a Disney show with Phil of the Future. He would play the dad on Phil of the Future and some other TV shows he ended up getting into. I think he now teaches drama in Savannah, Georgia, but got television work and whatever. The other guy's name was Emery.
I remember Emery.
Okay, Emery, who was really nice guy, but has became an ardent atheist. Actually started a podcast called The Ardent Atheist, and then got into editing, so he edits all Penn and Teller stuff now. So that's what these 2 guys have become, and then the Christian guy. We're in a van, driving from one college to the next, setting up our own gear, doing a teaser at noon into the college to let them know we're coming. 180 shows in 9 months.
Holy cow, man.
I mean, you want to talk about boot camp. One after, and if you eat it.
Did you do NACA?
Yeah.
No.
I did NACA.
So that's where you picked up the...
Well, that's how,
Or did
we
Chuck
didn't
get
do
you
it
in?
that way. No, Chuck got me on because it was 3 guys and it was a team. No, it was there was a Michigan, I forgot, Kramer Agency? I think it was Kramer Agency. I don't know why I remember that. But in Michigan, and they booked this as, they offered all these acts. And so it's a team, so it didn't matter who you were. It's, do you want this concept?
Right.
So they booked the crap out of it.
So did he have more than one team go out?
No.
Just you guys?
But it was just us. And when I left, I couldn't do it again, but I turned him on to a guy named Kermit Apio. Do you know Kermit Apio?
Apio, yeah.
Yeah, Apio. So he was out of Hawaii.
Hawaii, yeah.
And he was the sweetest, nicest guy.
He really was.
And by the end of the...
Sitting in a
I
fetal
would
position
tell
in the
him.
middle of a
I
field
would tell him. I am so sorry. Because he was the kindest, sweetest, gentlest guy. And you start doing that crap in a van with 2 comics that it never ends.
Chain
And you can't,
smoking, bourbon
oh
smoking.
my God. This guy, suddenly, he's like, it's like he's running a whorehouse now, I mean, if that's what it's like, you turn him into this grisly, I hate humanity.
Isn't it funny though? It never goes the other way. You finish a tour with one Christian,
Right.
and everybody's saved, and everybody's getting to straight.
We started
It's always the other
DC
way.
Talk,
Yeah.
and that's where DC Talk came from. And now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Anyways, so I get on this thing and I'm learning this deal, and then I do. From there, he gets me on Coconuts. This Chuck Harris, he submits me. Well, these are all C rooms, so you don't have to be great. They're not paying big, but I have this.
Zany's is a Z room. Coconut C, it's a letter C. Anyway.
Oh, I got you.
I'm really sorry I interrupted you for
I
that.
literally
really
didn't
am.
get that because
Yeah,
it
that's-
wasn't
So
funny.
Jeff is allowed to have a career if we could edit that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could edit that out.
But they they have what they call B rooms, but to me these were below that even, especially like the Comedy Zone, because it was these one-nighters, and it was so weird because you'd get paid a certain amount for the week. Let's say they gave you, I'm going to say, $1,500 for the week, let's say.
Yeah.
You'd go do this Tuesday night bar, there would be 2 people watching you. You'd finish. The guy'd give you $300. You're like, what?
Right.
You go do another gig, 7 people there. Here's $500. It's like, You'd get to the weekend that Comedy Zone ran, which was a weekend at the Holiday Inn, nice
Right.
room. You finished. Here's your $112.
Right.
What? So somehow they got other money from these other guys, and they did it. It's like, I don't know how you pulled that off, but okay, good for you. They might even still be around. I don't know.
Kelly's one is I just did one.
Okay, so but it's like.
Did you do Cherokee or Florida?
I don't remember. It was the Carolinas,
and they had
been years. Like I was just at Governor's in Long Island. I haven't done it since the 80s.
I used to do that all the time.
Yeah, they haven't done it since the 80s. And it's the same room. It was great. I had a blast. And they paid me in cash, and I didn't even think of it. So I get home and I tell Lenny, I think I lost my check from Governor's. But I found this envelope with all these $100 bills in it, and I'm so scatterbrained. I thought I actually left an envelope in my backpack with hundreds of dollars. So I just kind of threw them in a safe. I don't have a safe, but if I had one, that's where I would have put that money. But anyway, I tell Lenny calls me back 8 minutes later. He goes, "They said they paid you in cash," and I go, "Who pays in cash?"
Yeah.
What's the last time you got paid in just cash? But they always used to pay us which is not good if you have a cocaine problem. You don't want. I used to say, if you want to get the American people off of cocaine, you can shut the ATMs down at midnight. Nobody needs $300 at 2 in the morning. Denny's a little higher price than most places.
Well, maybe
they don't need $300.
Well, because but that was kind of like when they'd give you a credit or something, an advance. Like if you were drinking or something. They did that on purpose.
My first trip
so you
to
gave
Vegas,
all their money back.
My first trip to Vegas, I was out of my check by Wednesday. And I still had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I learned at least when I went to Vegas, I didn't gamble anymore. Of all the disease, I didn't get that one. And mainly because my losses affected me so much deeper than my wins elated me. There was this deep depression.
Well, then you're definitely not a gambler because gamblers don't care if they lose.
Not
they
at
just
all.
dig the whole thing.
Well, that's
what happened to Norm
That's that
Macdonald.
famous Twilight Zone episode with Sebastian Cabot, where he's got the gambler and the guy finally
wins
everything. And at the end of the episode, he goes, I want to lose. I want to lose. And he goes, why did I have to go to heaven? And Sebastian looks at him and goes, what makes you think you're in heaven?
Yeah.
But it's a classic. It's like...
But what a poignant story of, you get everything you want, you go, this isn't enough.
No.
And, but that was Norm Macdonald's problem.
Yeah.
And he lost twice. He went bankrupt because of
Well, we just had Gary Mulder on here. And when I met Mulder, I said, what? He was really big. And he's doing a comedy club. And I said, I thought you were like headline in Vegas. He goes, they don't know about this. And I, what do you mean they? He goes, the casinos. He was so deep in debt with the casinos that he literally worked Vegas for free. They just recycled the money. He was playing Keno 24 hours. And I'm not breaking any... He shared this on our podcast, so I'm not breaking any.
It was wild. He would he liked to work this one room because while he was on stage, he could watch his Keno card.
He could watch his Keno card while he was working. So anyway,
well, he's a great comic, by the way. He's so funny. He's such a nice guy.
He told the first. This is why clean is good. He told the first joke he ever wrote. He wrote it in 1957, and it was 3 snails assault a tortoise. The cops are interviewing the tortoise. He said, what happened? And the tortoise goes, I don't know. It happened all so fast. See? It's a great joke. And he said 70 years later, it still plays. It's still funny.
Yeah.
And we're off topic.
Yeah.
But, again.
It reminds me of the joke, what does a snail say on the back of a turtle?
What?
Whee!
If you got any more snail jokes, send them to us. We're going to make this a regular feature on our show.
Okay, where was I, guys?
Carollynn, come on.
So I talked to you about how I got into the comedy game.
Yeah.
And so then I'm doing comedy clubs. And I'm making money, better than Close-Up Magic, and I might have told you this before, and maybe not. If not, I'll save it for my podcast. I don't want to give you the good stuff, but
we'll edit it out. If it's good, we'll edit it out. We don't want to raise the standards around here.
But what
we don't want to have any interesting things on our show,
right? Yeah.
Please give us the C material.
You're taking a whole new, taking a new tack. We like to start slow and then just peter off.
Right.
The coconuts of podcasts.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Which is a C room, I might add. But I got into these clubs, and was starting to finally make a little money and grateful. And this was I'm going to tell
Are you married now?
Not at first, no. No, I didn't get married till 92.
So your wife married a comedian too.
You know what she did?
She knew what you did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big difference. I mean, I don't know about you, but I worked with guys that were losing their marriages. And,
I'm sorry.
And I said, what did she marry? He goes, what do you mean? I go, what were you when you got married?
Yeah, you're the
I was
cousin
a
that
plumber.
decided, yeah.
Well, now you're on the road 7 days a week. She's got 3 kids at home. She didn't sign up for that.
Yeah, no, one of my checklists was you're cool with a guy being gone a lot because...
Well, that was it.
Because there's no way this is going to work because this is my gig. She
Absolutely.
saw me, the first time she ever saw me was on MTV Half Hour Comedy Hour. And we lived in the same... Yeah. Anyways, I mean, sorry.
We took 20...
There'll be so many stories that will be all over the map.
We took 24 limos to tape from New York to Long Island to tape Half Hour Comedy Hour, and it was on Earth Day. Even I at that time was thinking, there's a little irony.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is prior to Carbon Footprints being a thing.
The caravan of limousines.
Where did you film it?
In Long Island at a place.
So you're on that. Okay.
Yeah.
I did it in Chicago with the Vic.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great... I always wanted to do the Vic. I grew up in Chicago.
Yeah, I know. That's why I brought it up. And who was our host was, the guy that used to be on Letterman all the time. He was on Groundhog's Day, the comedian. Chris Elliott?
Elliott.
Chris
Oh,
Elliott.
wow.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you reel me in, Mom?
Who was on the half hour with you?
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't recall. I don't recall. No.
That doesn't matter. You can't recall what you were talking about a minute ago.
I
So do
can't.
you see each other in the hallway all the time, you and the wife?
You know what? I hardly ever remember anybody that I ever did a gig with. Even like my first show, my first television show was Showtime Comedy Club Network. And I think Wendy Liebman was on that one. And some other folks who were quite well known, but I never paid attention to other people. That's what I was going to say, though, so that helped. Thank you, my little crowbar. We'll figure out a place to get this. Is that, and then I lost it. Are you kidding me?
But no, we were on the. You were making money at the comedy clubs, and then I interrupted you, which I tend to do.
Yeah.
And said, "Were you married at this point?" And you said no. But you were talking about you were making money doing comedy clubs, doing comedy magic.
Yeah. So, okay. Thank you. That is what I was going to say. So so my manager knew that I couldn't make any money doing coconuts as an opener,
Right.
because it's $50 or something,
Right.
and I couldn't make money as a feature act because that probably would have been
That's $300.
$350 a week or
It was
something.
$300. Because that was my dream. I quit a job making $300 a week.
Oh,
And I said to my friends, if I can make $300 a week telling jokes, I've arrived.
Yeah.
I got there pretty quick.
and
And
even
realized $300 ain't going to cut it. You know,
And
when
I
you're
don't
doing
even- I don't even-
280 a week in coke.
Yeah.
You know? So,
well, I don't even remember obviously anymore, but I'm going to guess even headlining coconuts for a week, which probably would have been a weekend anyways ish. I doubt it would have been Tuesday through Sunday. But even then, I'll bet you it was $800 for the week. It wasn't a lot.
yeah, probably. Yeah.
But anyways, but I had this crazy act because I had the magic, so I could eat fire, I could swallow swords. Nobody knows that about me. I'm a true Renaissance man. I mean, anything I see is like I want to do that, so I just do it. But it's so crazy that's hard to follow when you're not to a pro, but to if you're in the C rooms and you're kind of figuring it out. I can't follow the fire eater.
Right.
With words. So I headlined kind of right off the bat. I thought,
Did you hear that famous story about Tim Allen at Montreal?
no.
Oh my God. He had a night, a showcase night. You know, he was just breaking.
Yeah.
And now the whole industry is coming out to see Tim, and he knows this. This is the story I heard. If I'm wrong, correct me. Anyway, the guy that goes up before him drops trow and sticks a Roman candle in his backside and fires the Roman candle out of his
Dude, are you telling me you stole my closer? What is going on?
Well, that would have been my
here?
opening line. I'm done. He took my closer, But anyway, Tim Allen, I guess, is backstage going on. I mean, the place is pandemonium. I mean, it's just.
I think that's a British guy. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah. Anyway, so you're right. It's hard to follow.
Steve.
It's hard to follow somebody
Well,
who does something.
That prop act is hard to follow. And that's what it was.
If it's connecting,
Yeah,
and the people are really getting it.
That's right.
That wasn't connecting? The people were really...
Oh, they loved it. They made it was pandemonium. I mean, they were going like, "Holy cow!" Standing O.
How do you compete? But
I want all of my money back from every county fireworks show I have ever been to. I've been gypped for years.
This ain't nothing. Let me tell you about Des Moines once. So, anyways,
Wait, really quick though. I'm sorry to interrupt,
Okay.
but when I just want to know because I'm a lady and ladies love romance. So did she see you all of the time in the apartment building, and then she saw you on MTV, and then she was swooned by the MTV man?
So, first thing I want to do is I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for making sure that my wife isn't here right now. Thank you, Lord. Because if you were to ask my wife, how did you guys meet? It's about a 35-minute soliloquy.
Yeah. I don't know what that word means, but we'll figure it out later.
Look it up for her.
I don't know.
It's right next to
nomenclature.
It's right next to nomenclature.
Are we in our nomenclature?
It is our nomenclature.
We are in our nomenclature.
He said it's a 35-minute silhouette. I don't know.
Soliloquy, but close.
A soliloquy.
This would be a 35-minute silhouette. But you never saw people cut silhouettes? God, I'm old. Dottie Vernon used to cut silhouettes.
I love that. The great story about Dottie Vernon, he was doing a count. And, the whole point was he had a guy that, at the Magic Ink, he was doing a lecture. And the key was...
For J. Marshall?
Yeah, the key was to keep Di sober long enough to do the lecture. And apparently he got away and found some liquor.
Yeah.
So anyways, he's doing a count, and he just kept leaning back, and he fell back. He kept doing it.
That's a magic thing. We're talking
Is that where you cut and then you do
right
Is that what those are? Those
What?
are called cutting silhouettes?
You know how it just looks like a profile, somebody in black paper, and then you put it over a white background, but
Yeah.
it looks like the person, but it's just cut with scissors. That's a silhouette.
Looks like a shadow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like a silhouette, like
Yeah.
I thought you meant like they were cutting those.
Right.
Where it's like a girl in a dress and then they pull it. And
Oh,
it's
like-
To be honest with you, he said,
paper dolls thing.
to be
Yeah.
honest with you, he said soliloquy, so we're not even on soliloquy.
Yeah, we're way off.
Sorry.
But you said silhouette, and I said I can run with that. I can run with that.
Right.
Sorry.
So I have to find out where I swear to you, I don't know why I keep getting lost.
Your wife would have given you a 35-minute silhouette.
A silhouette, and it was
But you
funny.
were talking about how you guys met. She and
'Cause I was-
Carollynn asked.
when I
was
first
she
started-
familiar with you before the MTV?
Yeah, that's it. Because do you remember Mike Smith, my manager?
Yes.
Okay, just passed away not long ago. Great guy. But when we first moved to town, I was with him. We went out to dinner. We were just getting to know each other. I moved to Nashville, and I think he or his wife said, "Well, how did you guys meet?" And my wife takes it. And if you know my wife, she doesn't need any nudge to start talking. And it is. It's, I don't know, 20 minutes. And I've heard this story so many times. And so she finally finishes 20, 30 minutes later. And they're like, okay. And I look at my manager, I go, "You want to hear my version?" And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "Her roommate introduced us." So he starts falling off the floor. He just listened to 30 minutes. And I go, "Well, hear my version?" Her roommate introduced us.
I always tell comics, remember Shakespeare?
Yeah.
He said, "The brevity is the soul."
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and,
but women have to add all the bells and whistles, and that's fine. That's their own, beauty and so forth. But what happened was, if we're going to go that direction, why don't we go that direction and actually finish a premise? just to really break some ground here on Jeff Allen's Got a Podcast. Who knew?
Make
Is that what it's
sure
called?
when you put the hashtags to get them to hour 1 before we finish a story.
Yeah, exactly.
Just know at an hour and 3 minutes, we are going to finish the first story.
So I'll quickly say this. When I was a young man in Southern California, I wanted to get my first house, and I just felt this is never going to happen for me.
Tell the story about your parents taking you to the apartment. You told me that you were living with your parents, and one day you come home, they go, come on, get in the car. And you drive to this place, and you go, wow, this is nice, what is it? And they hand you the keys and go, this is your place. And you said you resented it.
Oh, well, it's not quite that dramatic, but it was
they
where they were saying it's time to move on. Yeah,
right.
It's your turn to get out, and we can end this enabling.
It was 2 weeks ago, but hey, everyone's got.
I was only 40. The number of those people.
Well, you know what? And that's a dynamic. A divorce come from divorce, and that pain, and oh my gosh! I mean, we can play this game all day long, but. So I'm trying to get a place, and a friend of mine at that time who was a hypnotist and a pastor.
Hypnotist.
But he used to have a show in Halloween at Knott's Berry Farm, so you probably heard of Knott's. Anyways, and he was a friend. So he's showing me, he said, well, let's go look at these condos over here. And this is in Southern California, Laguna Niguel, very ritzy. I'm going, there's no way, I can't afford this. And this is 1990. Anyways, I'm not even going to go into the depth of it, but somehow we decided, I think you can get this place. And it would have been my first, I was like, really? I said, I can't afford these mortgage rents, but my brothers were going to be my roommates. I said, well, if you guys pay rent, like we're already living together, then I can afford to get in the game, which is very hard for kids nowadays. So I do give them, we did kind of, the baby boomers did kind of mess us up for this generation. I'm just learning for my kids' sake. Because like, oh, yeah, this is a whole different.
My son's in one of those black rock communities
all right, well,
where they'll never own.
Yeah.
$2,500 a month, they'll never own.
Don't feel that bad for us, because all of you guys are going to die, and
that's
you're going to
true.
leave us
Everything
that you built, and then
BlackRock
BlackRock can get, you know what I mean?
Well, okay,
well, I'll tell you what, if my youngest moves into our home, my wife will come back from the dead and make sure he gets out.
Well, and that's a hard lesson.
I want to edit that one out. Not that he watches this.
That's a hard lesson, and it's a crucial lesson. What parent wants to grapple with the fact that your purpose is to teach them not to need you? Nobody wants to deal with that, but that's the only reason you're here, so they don't need you anymore. Anyway, so here I'm going back to my parents. My wife. So I'm getting this house or this condo, and I got it. Okay, and I'm going into the woman that was showed us around and everything, and we're going into to get my keys maybe or something for it, and in the showroom, and I'm talking to her, and this girl suddenly comes walking in by her. And I had this cool kind of, I don't know, crop top, halter top, whatever you call it, and these pants and this thick, amazing hair and exotic look. And I'm just like gaping, like, who? Oh my, because I like exotic looking women. I've never liked classic, like Cindy Crawfordy. Oh, yeah. I like them interesting and with a cool nose. I like all the things they think they need to get rid of is what I loved. Give me that interesting.
I call them caricature artist dreams.
Yes.
Where they have distinct things to.
But I saw this girl and I was like, ooh. And anyways, so I go, I don't know how it worked, but I told my brother, I said, whoever that girl is, you got to figure this out. Well, it turns out the girl that was showing me the place and sold me the place, it was her roommate. She was married, but needed money to get their place, so she came in and was staying with her for a while. So without going to the long thing, come to find out that, we got to somehow, she told her, have I ever told you, they knew each other since kindergarten, have I ever told you I know the right guy for you? I met the right guy for you. Now my wife was Hollywood, went to the whiskey, did all the things. She dated for 5 years Mick Brown, who was the drummer for Dokken.
Oh, wow.
So she was legit rock and roll that. She was in that game with the real guys and the real people. She was in one of their videos even. And so so she knew her, but she obviously had a different lifestyle than I was. do I ever tell you I found the man for you? She goes, no, she goes, I found the man for you. For whatever reason, she met me. I had long hair back then.
Is she a Christian then?
No. But her story is she worked in Laguna Beach at Hennessy's Tavern, and she would drive back on Pacific Coast Highway, and for months she said, I don't know why, but I started praying, God, I just want to lead a right life. I just want to lead a good life. I don't know what that means. Her grandmother was a big mentor, but she was kind of New Age. She was kind of into astrology, so she was all over the map. But she grew up as a Catholic, so she kind of believed in Jesus, but also left him because she felt like her mother wasn't Catholic, and she thought they taught her her mom was going to hell. So she said, well, then I don't want you, God, if you're going to send my mom to hell. She's like 10, So anyway, so you get all that crazy crap, right? So we end up not meeting, but she says, I met this guy. He goes, whatever. Well, so one day she comes home, and she hears her roommate going, oh, my God, Brad Stine. She goes, what? She's screaming. She runs out. She's watching MTV on television. There I am from the Vic on MTV half-hour comedy. Doing my show, and I did Nose Floss, which is my big closing. I mean, we didn't work together back in clubs that I remember, though I remember seeing your headshots at Noni. But my last bit of all these crazy things, I would take string and suck it up my nose until it could come out the back of my throat, and then I could pull it through using my mouth, so you'd see it just go zzz, and then I blow it out, and I could pull it through my nose and come out like this.
Not a Roman candle.
Yeah, but it's out there. I had my pants on. Nevertheless, and I did that on the TV, and it got, oh my gosh. Yeah. So I was doing stuff like that prior to Penn and Teller. Like it was in that genre of crazy sideshowy stuff, which interested me because I have family who are still into carnival, and so I grew up around carnies and sideshows. But that's
gypsies.
That's for another podcast.
Gypsies?
No, I was told carnies.
Carnies. Okay.
Yeah. No, my uncle who started.
Do carnies look down their nose at gypsies, or do gypsies look down their nose at carnies? In the hierarchy of.
I'll give you the answer. Carnies do look down their nose at gypsies because gypsies are thieves. Gypsies do look down their nose at carnies and everybody else because their religion teaches them they can steal from you and it's okay because they've been chosen.
Oh, okay.
So my uncle taught me.
I didn't know that was a religious sect.
He told me to stay away from the gypsies. He told me that. This is carny world now. He goes, I know what you're talking to gypsies. These guys are.
Well, it's interesting. Did you ever see the show Peaky Blinders?
No, but I.
Yeah, but they
gypsies?
They get into they start as gypsies.
They're like con men. I mean, their whole thing is con work, and it's part of their religious thing. Somehow
but I didn't know it was
they've
religious.
been anointed. It's like.
Is it connected to a deity? I mean, outside of themselves.
I would. My guess is, and I don't have the depth of it. I haven't studied it. I think they're from Romania.
Right.
So there's probably some Catholic influence. My guess would be. Or something. So it's probably a hybrid of taking some Christian here and something over here, and then giving yourself permission to steal.
It's like the Islam where they can lie.
You're allowed to lie to a non-Muslim. That's exactly right. And
how convenient.
Yeah, and and we're Christians, so we can lie, but then we have to feel guilty.
Right. Exactly.
So she saw me on the TV. And she goes, and she liked my sideburns. One of my things, I'd always have cool sideburns. I just would always screw around with my sideburns. I don't know why. I did. So I'd have some interest. She goes, and her boyfriend at the time couldn't grow sideburns. So that's it. So she's like, oh, I love his sideburns. I love his sideburns. And I had long, amazing. I had really long, and my hair's really shiny and soft, so it looked good, long, and all the women would always go, I wish I could have your hair. And I'd wear jeans and a rocker belt, and I had a cool look. And so kind of fit her world, I guess, and the look of it.
And you were on MTV.
And I was on MTV.
Which is huge at the time.
Now, that time, they were still doing music. It didn't become whatever it's turned into. And so we ended up meeting and going out, not even as a date, like, hey, let's go out and just go meet each other. And we went to her place to eat, and we came home, and I had been dating a girl at that time who was a dancer, who was now going to Japan. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of liking this girl. What am I going to do? And this other girl from the Japanese dancer never wanted to commit. So it was like, I'm torn. And so, anyways, I said I just kind of didn't talk to her anymore because I know what to do. And she got angry that I didn't like send her flowers or something afterwards or call her. Anyways, I saw her driving by when I was washing my car, and I said, hey, come here. Because my dad and my brothers had booked a skydiving adventure where we're going to do a tandem skydive. And I said, do you want to go with us? And she goes, I don't know. Let me find out. And she went home, went to her work, and they said, hey, this guy wants me to skydive. He said, oh, you got to do it. It's amazing. So she did. So I have videotape of me and my two brothers and my father, who's passed, and Desiree. Hey, we're going to do this now. It's in the 90s at Paris Valley in California. We're going to skydive. What do you think? I don't know. And that day was my first kiss with her afterwards. And little did I know that basically my first date with my wife is recorded. Because we eventually got married, and I've been married 33 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's... At least that's a complete story.
Right, and as a matter of fact, I want to go back to one we didn't finish. What was your Dark Night of the Soul?
Okay, so the Dark Night of the Soul story.